Executive Director of the Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center. We thank you for joining us tonight in the comforts of your own home. 2020 has looked a little different than we all expected thanks to COVID-19. But the Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center board and staff are excited to tell you this evening about the new ventures that we have to reach out to these clients in Western North Carolina. We know that through God and your help, we can reach more women and men in the pregnancy crisis mode and help them to make informed decisions for life. Our goal at Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center is to educate, encourage, and empower men and women with unplanned pregnancies to choose life and to become the best parent they can be. This evening, we're going to be informing you of some of the ways our ministry is moving forward. Our board and staff looked at how best to expand our services to reach more of these clients in Western North Carolina. I'm excited to introduce to you tonight our Mobile Ministry Unit, or MMU. Inside the MMU, we will be able to offer medical-grade pregnancy testing with a verification of a viable pregnancy using our Asote ultrasound machine, allowing our trained medical staff to verify the heartbeat, gestational age, and intrauterine pregnancy. Not only are we establishing that we have a vital pregnancy, we have the privilege of providing the information that a new mother needs so she can make an informed decision. We do still need your help outfitting the MMU with the new rapid needs, medical supplies to stock it, and a mobile internet connection, as well as helping us pay for the cost of insurance and the staff needed to run it. Tonight, we're asking you to help us raise $100,000 through this online virtual event. You can help bless our ministry beyond measure. We hope you will share this link with your friends and family. Allow others to see the mobile unit and the wonderful work going on at Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center. If God is moving you to help us through this mobile ministry unit, please hit that donate button now. Or, if you're watching later, go to smokypartners.com. We need you to help us reach them. I'd like to share with you now one of the success stories here at the Pregnancy Center. We had a young girl come into our ministry thinking that we were an abortion provider. But once our nurse showed her that baby on the screen and she saw that heart beating, she chose life. I'm happy to say baby Harmony, through God's work, is now living with her mom and dad. And here's their story.
Hello everyone, I'm Anisha Chalwell Morris. I'm 23 years old and today I'll be telling my story. It all begins when I found out I was pregnant. I had many options, although I was still in school. I had thought about having an abortion because I was thinking about my family back home. What would they think? But when I got to Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center, thinking that the center was an abortion clinic, and it was not, they then took me and the father of my child, which is now my husband, back to the counseling room to fill out the paperwork, to get an ultrasound, also to find out how many weeks I was at the time. When we saw the baby's heart beating, that made us change our minds about having the abortion. We told Miss Pam about our decision that we were going to have an abortion soon because I was scared about letting my family back home know that I was pregnant, because I came to Franklin to attend school, not to get pregnant. But Miss Pam spoke to us. She is so sweet and prayed for us and said, "I hope you two make the right decision." Every time I thought about having the abortion, I cried. And I thought to myself that it probably was not the right decision. God was giving me a sign it was not the right decision. The second time we came to the center, when we first came in, we said, "Do you remember us?" Miss Pam said yes. And we told her about our decision, that we decided to keep our baby. Now this time, we are here to try to get the baby's gender. Although Miss Pam said they didn't do that here at the center, she still did an ultrasound to let us see our baby. At the end of the visit, Miss Pam gave us a gift. It was a nice, cozy blanket for the baby. I loved it. She said that some ladies made them and donated them to the center. I was really appreciative and loved it so much. We definitely made the right decision. I decided to keep my baby. Then I started to tell my family one by one that I was pregnant. And I was wrong. They were actually happy about me having a baby. I also told my family, although I am pregnant, I'm going to make sure I finish school. I was working and attending school. I went to school in the daytime and worked at night. Although it was tiring, it was worth it. A few months later, I graduated from school. I was so proud of myself, and my family was too. Thanks so much, Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center, Miss Pam, and the ladies for everything.
Another blessing out of 2020 has been our friend Jack Eason, president of HeartShare Group. He's helped many ministries, and tonight he has a message just for you.
Hey there, thank you, Jenny. What a privilege to join you guys tonight. Maybe you're there in your living room and I'm in my living room. Technology is great. Despite all the craziness of COVID-19, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being intentional about joining us tonight. Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center. Oh my goodness, wow, just an incredible ministry. And to partner with Jenny and the team tonight, I am honored. Hey, I'm Jack Eason, and I just want to encourage you tonight with just a few words and ask you to consider getting on board tonight to help this amazing ministry. I mean, wow, just to hear what God has done in the last year alone, 741 client visits. I mean, that's amazing. Amazing to think that God is using the ministry the way He is. 741 and 90 babies born in the last year. 90 babies that might not be here if it wasn't for the Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center, Jenny, and the incredible team that she has here. So I am just amazed. My name is Jack Eason, and I know tonight is a little bit different as you're probably sitting in your living room and I'm sitting in my living room. But it is a great night or day, depending on when you're watching this, to talk about life. And if our world ever needed to talk about life, it's now. You know, there are a lot of things that we can do to get involved tonight. We're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. So I hope that you will be praying even during the time that I'm sharing about what God might have you do to support this incredible ministry. But you know, over the years, I've learned a lot, and even the last several months, of course, with social distancing and the COVID virus, I've learned a lot about what happens when people join together. And really tonight is about joining together, doing the work of God, and really accomplishing something that we can't accomplish by ourselves. You know, over these last several months, we all have kind of been social distance. We've been inside. And maybe you, like me, when you watch the news, you just think, well, what could I do to make a difference? The world has gone crazy. And indeed, it sure does seem that way. But tonight you can make a difference. God's been really speaking to my heart over these last several months about being active in His work. Well, God is using this ministry in an incredible way. I did a study probably, 10 or 12 years ago by the name of Experiencing God, written by Henry Blackaby. And I remember during that study, one of the things that I discovered and learned, kind of the premise of the whole study, was to join God where He's working. And you look around in our world and maybe you wonder if God is working at all. He is working. But all that to say, tonight I want to share a verse of Scripture with you and just a little bit about what I've learned when it comes to giving. You know, Psalm 24:1, a great passage of Scripture in and of itself. But that very first verse says, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it." You know, one of the things that we might have learned over these last few months of social distancing and quarantine is we don't have control over a lot. But one of the things we do have control is over those resources that God has given us. We can be stewards of those resources. And, a pastor friend of mine told me a story that happened in his church right before the pandemic broke out. They had a very special time of giving in their church. And instead of passing the offering plate on this particular Sunday, he gave people the opportunity to come down front at the end of the service and to bring their offering. So people began to file out of the seats and out of the pews and come down to the front and put their offering in the offering plate right there on the front, on the communion table, the Lord's table there at the front. And he said, Jack, I thought everyone was finished. I thought everyone had completed their task. But a little boy kind of slipped out of the pew and kind of was last. He said he's probably 7 or 8 years old. He had his piggy bank kind of tucked up under his arm like a football, and he came down to the front and he began to took the stopper out and began to shake that piggy bank, and he was shaking and the coins were hitting the table and they were rolling off everywhere. He said people started to laugh as they watched this little boy dump out everything that he had right there on the table. And then he held it up to the light and he started pulling out all the paper money, and he threw the paper money on the table. And people began to pull out their cameras and they began to take photos and videos of this little boy. And when he was certain that the piggy bank was totally empty, he put the stopper back in and he began to head back to his seat. My pastor friend, he said, Jack, he said, at that point, all eyes are on this young kid, this little boy. There's nothing that I could say at this point. Everyone is watching him. And so I knew who he was, and so I shouted out to him, hey, Daniel, come here, come here. And Daniel turned around and came back up on the platform in front of the church. And the pastor said, I grabbed a wireless microphone, and I said, Daniel, I got a question for you. You dumped out everything that you had right here in front of everybody. I mean, everything that you brought down in that piggy bank, you dumped it all out. Aren't you concerned? Aren't you worried? Aren't you fearful? Aren't you concerned? And he said, without hesitation, this little boy looked up at him with a smile on his face and said, nope, because my daddy will fill it up again. And he said, people across the congregation began to chuckle and laugh. And he said, then it got very quiet as they realized how profound that statement was, that his daddy would fill it up again. You know, friends, I think about the resources that God has entrusted to us, and indeed the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. And the resources that He's given to us, we need to have that childlike faith and hold our hands loosely so that God can use those resources to bring Him glory and to reach people in His name. And I think about what is happening through this pregnancy center, and that happens each and every day. People's lives are being changed. Families are being transformed. We look at all the things that are going on in our culture right now, and things seem to be running amok, and we seem to see a lot of chaos in the world, and we do. But you know what? You and I know as believers in Jesus that there's only one thing that's going to change that, and that is the truth and the light of Christ. And when I think of all the things that are happening in this community, one of the bright lights that's shining is this pregnancy center that is reaching men and women and, of course, babies and families. And it's beyond providing things for the babies. It's beyond providing, help and ultrasounds and helping moms see their baby on the screen. It's way beyond that. It's helping with parenting classes. It's helping really transform the way families operate. And you're a part of that if you choose to be. And tonight, I hope you will. There's some great things that we can do, again, to get involved tonight. I'm going to be sharing a few of those with you here in just a second. But I want to encourage you, even now in this moment, would you stop for just a minute and ask the Lord to speak to your heart? Ask Him what you could do. Ask Him for permission to partner with Him, the Creator of the universe, to do something incredible through the work of this pregnancy center. And I believe that you'll see God do some amazing things. I have another friend, and he was telling me earlier this week that his kids have been kind of, from all the being inside and social distancing and online learning, they've been trapped inside their home. They're going stir crazy. They're ready to get out. And, they have had a lot of their groceries delivered. And his son went to the refrigerator the other night after they had just had a delivery from the supermarket. He said probably a couple $100 worth of groceries that we had delivered. And he said my son, who was about 5, opened up the refrigerator door. He was hungry, looked inside at this freshly stocked refrigerator and yelled out to, he yelled out to me in the den and just said, "Dad, there's nothing in here to eat." And he said, I could only chuckle thinking we just stocked that refrigerator. And you know what? We are so blessed in our country, but sometimes we're like that little boy. We look at all that we have and say, well, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. You know, friends, if we make, your family, my family, make $20,000 annually, $20,000, you and I would say in our country that is the poverty line, below the poverty line. But if we make $20,000, at least $20,000 annually, do you realize that you and I, our families, are in the top 5% of wealth on the planet? It's amazing, isn't it? The top 5% of wealth on the planet. God has blessed us, and I think about to whom much is given, much is required. There are some of you tonight that could give a substantial gift to help this pregnancy center continue the ministry that God is working. And you could continue to see more and more families transformed by the power of Jesus Christ because of your gifts. Can I ask you to join the Creator of the universe tonight to do something that, honestly, when we join together, big things happen? It's a team effort, it really is. The team at the center can't do it all. That's a piece of the puzzle. And God could do it all, but He chooses in His plan A to allow you and I to partner with Him. It is a team effort. I think about what team means. T-E-A-M. Together, everyone accomplishes more. And my friends, the world is watching to see what we're going to do. Those of us who bear the name of Christ, what we're going to do. You know, a lot of times some of my non-believing friends, I like to call them pre-believers, because I believe one day they will say yes to Jesus. But a lot of them ask me from time to time, they watch those of us who claim to be Christians, and they watch our engagement, our lack of engagement in our world. And many times I will hear them say to me, because they feel close enough that they can be transparent, they will say to me, I hear very often what Christians are against, but what are you really for? And my friends, tonight we have a chance to vote. Yeah, we have a chance to vote tonight. To support life, to support hope, to support truth, to support transformation through this pregnancy center by making an investment and putting our finances where our faith is. So I want to ask you to do that tonight. I want to ask you to join the team at the pregnancy center and step up and make a big, big difference. You can do it. Every single gift will help make a big difference. And tonight, whatever the gift is that God's laid on your heart, I'm going to ask you to go even beyond, push even beyond, and go deeper in your partnership with this pregnancy center and this whole team. Because as you know, tonight's a little bit different. I mean, normally we would be gathering in a banquet hall. We would have several hundred people, and we might be eating more than we should. And as we gathered together, we would be celebrating. We would have a good time, and we have dessert. We would take our time, and maybe in a 2-hour long event, we would have several hundred people that would hear the message of the pregnancy center and what God is doing here and have the opportunity to give and to participate. But tonight is a little bit different, right? And I believe that despite the differences of tonight, despite the way that the enemy could use this to squelch the work of the pregnancy center, I'm excited because you're watching. And I believe God wants to use you in a powerful way tonight. So I want you to do something for me tonight. I want you right there in your living room, or maybe you're watching around the kitchen table with your family, however you're watching. If you've got access to a laptop, or maybe you're streaming and you're watching on your laptop, could you open up another browser? I'm going to give you a web address to type in just a minute and ask you right now, because you'll get busy and you'll forget. I'm going to ask you right now to go online and to make a significant impact in the life of this pregnancy center. So if you could, open up another browser. Maybe you're watching right there on the YouTube on your smart device, maybe on your smart TV in your home. Grab your tablet, grab your laptop, grab your computer, and go to this web address. Are you ready? I'll give you just a minute, because this is so very important. Please don't get distracted. Your gift is needed tonight to make a huge impact so that the team can continue to do what God has called them to do and impact people. Real quickly, while you're grabbing that tablet or that laptop, I want to share with you about that word just real quickly. I've been thinking about this week. I was doing some reading and came across that word impact. I-M-P-A-C-T. I-M-P-A-C-T. The last half of it is act. I like that. But the first letter is I. Impact. We've got to be intentional if we're going to make an impact. M. If you're going to make an impact, you've got to check your motivation. What is your motivation? My motivation and your motivation tonight should be to go where God is working, to serve where God is working, partner with the Creator of the universe, and see Him glorified. And that will happen because the history is there to prove what God's been doing through the center. P, would you stop and pray and ask God what He would have you to do? And we're going to do that in just a minute. A, act. Good intentions are great, but we've got to act. C, care and concern. Do you have care and concern for the unborn? Care and concern for families in this area who need transformation and need the hope of Jesus? I know that you do. I know that you do. And then I think about that last letter T, transformation. Transformation. That happens when we're intentional, when we have the right motivation, we pray, we act, we have care and concern. Transformation happens. So I want to ask you to get on board tonight and support my friends at the Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center. Maybe tonight you are watching, and in honor of those 741 visits, you might step up tonight with a gift of $741. I'm looking for a dozen people tonight that would say, that's my number, that's my number. There are many of you that could step up tonight and you could give a $1,000 gift. You say, really? Yeah, break it out monthly, $83 a month if you need to. Now, our family, we spend more than that for our internet. We spend more than that for our TV subscriptions that we have. We spend more than that for our cell phone bill. All those things are all right. Nothing necessarily wrong with those things. They connect us, but they don't connect people to the heart of God like the Pregnancy Center does. It's amazing. So $83 a month, maybe you could get in at that dollar amount. For some of you that are watching, you could be a part of helping with our Lifesaver program. And for every client that goes through that program, it's $1,200. I'm believing there are at least 12 of you right now that could take a client through the entire program. 12 friends with a $1,200 gift. You know, Jesus changed the world with 12 ordinary people, but they were extraordinary because they followed God and did what God asked them to do. So maybe you'd be one of those 12 friends with a $1,200 gift right there tonight. You know, for those that are going through our parenting classes, there's 10 parenting classes. It's $540. There are probably 20 or 30 of you watching right now that could send someone through a parenting class. And that's the exciting thing about this pregnancy center, not just helping moms have babies, but helping families be transformed. So maybe you could help someone go through one of those parenting classes, $540 gift. Asking for a lot of you to do it. Now, you've got your computer, you've got your tablet, right? Here's the web address that I want you to type in so you can be a part of changing lives together with others, army of people who are online tonight watching with you that are going to type in this address, and together we're going to do something bigger than we could do by ourselves. Here's the web address. Are you ready? You got your browser, you got your tablet, your laptop. Type this in. Smoky, for Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center, smokygivenow.com. smokygivenow.com. Now I'm going to get my tablet in just a second, my computer, and we're going to walk through this giving form together, and we're going to fill that out, and it's going to be amazing. So thank you for what you're doing. You got your tablet? You ready? Okay, I'm going to grab mine, and we're going to walk through this together. Okay, friends, I want to walk you through how to do this. Pull up your tablet or your computer and go to Smoky Give. Actually, see, I've already been there. GiveNow.com. It'll take you to the giving page. And as a partner, you're going to be making a big difference tonight. You can obviously get on board with a one-time gift. And some of you could give a substantial one-time gift tonight, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 of ministry impact. That would be great. But you know what? Our ongoing monthly partners, make a big difference, and we know that we can count on you every single month. So whatever dollar amount God has suggested that you give or kind of laid on your heart to give, just fill it out right there. You can take that out and put in whatever dollar amount that is. Maybe it's 25, maybe it's 250, maybe it's 2,500. Okay, I don't know what God's told you to give, but you give whatever and put on recurring monthly gift. Move down here and you can choose. You want to choose the 2020 virtual fundraising event because that's what's going on right now. And then very, very simply, you put your name right there, your email. If you've got an email address, that is so helpful for us to get receipts out. It also saves us postage and printing and allows us to let you know of prayer concerns pretty quickly too. So you can be praying for the team and for those that are coming into the center that God would reach out to them and transform their lives. So you can just click on that. As well, fill out your email. Of course, all this information here, your zip code and your phone number would be helpful as well. If you want to remember your contact information, you can. It will not store your credit card information. And if you can click on yes to receive email updates, we'll keep you up to date on what's happening in the ministry. Then just put your credit card information in there, and mine is already saved right there. Confirm that and put that in there. You would put down your month, expiration, year. You put your 3-digit code or 4-digit code if you're using the American Express. Make your gift go further. If you want to cover the transaction fees that it costs to process the credit cards, that's fantastic. And then click on Donate Now. All right? So could you take just a couple minutes right now and fill out that form? And I believe that tomorrow we're going to get a great report of what God is doing by using us as His army to make a difference together. Thanks for giving, and thanks for getting involved tonight through the Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center.
In a world that's so divided, wouldn't it be nice to partner with somebody for life? Helping make a difference, one baby at a time, one life at a time? We need substantial monthly partners to come along Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Care Center. Won't you step up and make the difference for life? So tonight we're asking you to help us reach our goal of $100,000. Your partnership with SMPCC tonight will help keep our services free and confidential, stock our mobile unit, and spread God's love throughout Western North Carolina.